Now the first kind of reaction is combination reaction. So as the name suggests, two or more reactants will combine to form product. Now this product can be one or it can be more than one, but the main thing is that my reactants will be more than one in number. That's it. Now let us take an example for this kind of reaction. Now you have a very interesting one here. Now you all must have appreciated the shine that a whitewash gives to your house. Now that is an example of combination reaction. Let us see how. Now for that you need to know some of the common terms as well. Calcium oxide. Now this is calcium oxide, which is also called quicklime in common name. So this is its common name. When I react it with water, now this is an exothermic reaction. So what happens here is, as I said, in exothermic reaction, along with the product, a large amount of heat will also be released. Now what is being formed is, whenever a metal reacts with oxygen, it forms metal oxide. And whenever a metal oxide reacts with water, it will form metal hydroxide. Now this case is of the second type of reaction, that is metal oxide reacting with water to give me metal hydroxide, that is calcium hydroxide. Now note down that this has a common name as well, that is slaked lime. Now this is what we call it in general terms, that is a layman's language. So this is slaked lime. So what do we do in our experiment is that this calcium hydroxide is taken and we pass CO2 through it. That is, in a test tube, if you take CaOH whole twice and if you bubble CO2 from your mouth itself, because what we release is CO2, right? If you bubble CO2 through it, what we get is CaCO3 plus H2O. This was liquid, this is the gas, and here we have solid CaCO3 being formed. That is calcium carbonate. Now after this dries off, it will give the shiny appearance on the walls after a whitewash. The shiny appearance on the walls is because CaCO3 has dried and it has a shiny white color. Now this was an example of combination reaction. Why? Because we saw that in every reaction we had more than one reactant forming products. It doesn't matter how many products, but it formed products. And we had more than one reactant combining with each other. So this was one of the examples. Let me take another one. Now earlier you saw photosynthesis. Now this is also an example of combination reaction. What did we see there? We saw CO2 combining with H2O. That is, I have more than one reactant giving me the starch and oxygen. Now another thing you have to remember about photosynthesis is that it will utilize energy. So this is endothermic process. And since we know how to balance, we'll write the balanced form here. Now I'll tell you something very interesting. Now this was the photosynthesis reaction that takes place in plants. Now do you know the exact opposite of it happens in animals? And what do we call it? It is called respiration. And what is respiration? See, we all eat food. What is that food actually? It is in the form of starch. Now what happens inside our body is, we inhale oxygen and in the presence of this oxygen, starch will give CO2 plus H2O plus energy as well. And this is given out of our mouth, while this is what our body utilizes. So tell me, is this a combination reaction? Yes, of course it is. So if photosynthesis is endothermic, respiration is the exact opposite, and so it is exothermic. Now this you can say from common sense also. When we respire, the food is getting utilized in our body to release energy. And any reaction in which energy is released will be called exothermic. And so I call respiration an exothermic reaction. If you like the video, please hit the like button, comment and share it with your friends. Also don't forget to subscribe for all our future videos.